Good morning, pilgrims. It is day 7 on the Camino Francés. The first week is now behind us, and up ahead we still have 1 month to make it to Santiago. Yes, sir, 1 week down. We have learned so much on this Camino, especially me having to adjust to Giancarlo's routine. We've learned to take it easy, to listen to our body, to go easy and to leave extra early. Like right now it's 6 in the morning because it gets really hot in the afternoon. So many people have asked me as I'm walking how I'm dealing, walking a Camino with a child, and I had to say, if it wasn't because I've done this Camino many times and there's so many things that I don't have to worry about just from experience, I probably would be freaking out a little bit. But I know all the stages like the back of my hand. I know the routine. I know what's coming. So that leaves me extra time to just focus on him. That's right? Today we have a 21-kilometer day to Los Arcos. I paid for the reservation yesterday, so we don't have to worry about confirming the reservation, and it's gonna be interesting. The second half of the stage is gonna be out in the open right when the sun is gonna be hitting us the hardest. It's gonna be hardly any shade at that point, but the first half we have support. We are gonna walk past the first 100-kilometer marker. We're gonna have breakfast along the way because it's way too early and most things are probably closed right now. But anyways, let's get the day started. Right, Giancarlo?
Yeah.
Wake up, bro. Wake up. Well, there you have it, guys. 100 kilometers, the 100-kilometer marker, the first one, not the last one. But I feel like this is 100 kilometers if you started in Roncesvalles, not in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. It is past 7 in the morning. We're making our way through the suburbs. I wish we could start walking at 6. The place where we have breakfast this morning opens at 5, but I just could not find it on Google Maps. But now I know for the next one. It would be nice to head out at 6 because there's already a little bit of light out, and that helps us a lot. What was it that you told me before, Giancarlo, that you wanted to do what? About the distance?
Oh, I didn't want you to tell me the distance that we had.
On the day.
Yeah.
So today I'm not going to tell you how much we have walked or how much more we have until the end of the stage.
Yeah.
You're not even going to look at the signs?
No.
Let's see how that works out. What else? You found a playground, and as always, we gotta stop at every playground along the way for Giancarlo to stretch out his legs. And we also got some water at a water fountain. We also need to find a bike store now that we see this, a cyclist store, so we can get some gloves for your hand because he's getting a little blister in one of his fingers, right? We need to address things as they come and not wait until they get too bad. All right, the next time you see a 100-kilometer marker, it's gonna be the last one, the last 100 to Santiago. And it's not in Sarria, it's actually past Sarria. Sarria is 111. Let's go. So we're here at this famous blacksmith shop. You guys know which one I'm talking about. They also have a 100-kilometer marker sign. So I've gotten quite a few things from here over the years, but today all we got was the stamp in both the credencial and the scroll. We got a geocache up ahead right next to the Irache wine fountains, which is a major highlight on the Camino Francés. now that I got in my wine at Bodega Irache and Giancarlo got a little bit of water, or white wine as we like to call it, we're gonna find the geocache that's around here somewhere. It better work this time. Are you on the hunt, Giancarlo?
Yeah.
You gonna find it?
Yeah.
You think so? Let me see. Show me. We're right on the dot. So it has to be around here somewhere, maybe under one of these rocks. Is there a picture that we can see what it looks like?
Yeah, I'm not like...
This is a very cool monastery. Another one of those that I haven't been able to go in and see. Yet another cache that we could not find here next to the monastery and the museum. We went straight to where the app told us to go and search there the grounds. Could not find anything, so we're just gonna move on. I don't know. We only found one so far. Maybe we're just newbies. Maybe we'll learn as we go along the Camino. But we must head out because the sun is already coming out.
Hey, Papa, is the stage gonna be hard?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, yes, at the beginning, we're climbing, as you have already noticed. We're gonna gain about 300 meters, but that's about over a distance of 10 kilometers or so to Mojardin, where there's a very nice castle atop a hill, which we're not climbing up there. We do have a Roman well. That one is pretty cool. And that might be the town where we have lunch or a snack, because after that, there's only that food truck out there in the plains. The second half of the stage, we're gonna lose all that elevation. We're gonna be in the plains for the next couple of days. So it's gonna be easier than yesterday, easier than what you have been doing so far. Distance-wise, it's still gonna be about the same. So let's see if we can make it to Los Arcos around 2, 3 in the afternoon at the latest, okay? No buses today.
Okay.
Today we're committed. We're committed to walk every single step of the way. By the way, up ahead there's a split. I've done both sides already. I've taken both routes. The official one, which is nice, I like it. There's an alternative that goes up into the mountains. Supposedly to get great views. I've done it. I don't recommend it. It's rough, very rough. And I don't think it's worth it. It goes through a small town and then it joins up with this one further down the line. But you can do it if you like. If you feel adventurous, you can go for it. Now that we have made our right turn, the right choice if you ask me, just want to show you the progression here on Giancarlo's backpack. So far we have 3 pins up here. We have the Tau symbol and we have the scallop shell, which we wrote his name on it. And then I added the 3 stars, you know, the symbol for Santiago. You know, Santiago de Compostela. Compostela means field of lights. And then I added a smiley face back here as well. All right, let's go. It's coming together, buddy. It's coming together. You know, we may not have luck finding the geocache, but what we do have luck finding are playgrounds for Giancarlo, right? Say something up here. I'll remind you of this once we're out in the fields at 3 in the afternoon with the fan and the umbrellas, right? Gracias. Giancarlo's story time. In 2017, my first Camino, of course, I was just following this guidebook down to a T. I would do whatever it would say. And instead of telling me to stay in Estella, it asked me to continue on to the next town just by that 100-kilometer marker. There's a municipal albergue there. So I arrived dead, destroyed after walking such a long day. To my surprise, the albergue was closed. And at that time, I would not go back. I will not take public transportation. So I decided to continue on walking to the next town, which happens to be the one behind us, Asqueta. So I made it here and I was destroyed. Yes, I was. And I got so lucky that I found this place that was open, La Perla Negra. We're going to walk right past it now and see if we can look inside. And that's it. Now we have a small climb to the town, which is right there behind us. It's short and sweet, and there's a bar. Let's see if it's open. If it's open, we sit down and have our mid-morning break. On our way here, we came across this lady with a donativo stand on the side of the path. And as always, she's all over Giancarlo, telling him encouraging words and how she did the Camino with her 2 daughters and how life-changing it was. And Giancarlo still doesn't see it, but he's curious and he's asking the right questions. Right, buddy? You'll see one day. You can't see it now. Right now, you're in the fog of war. All right, let's start climbing. Here we are at the town's edge on the opposite side. The bar was open, which was great. Okay. We managed to find a few snacks for Giancarlo to enjoy. That's a huge weight off my shoulders. Right now, he's playing again at the playground. He wants to play at every single one we come across. He doesn't know that we're burning precious time. Yes, we are. We still haven't gotten to the halfway point, which will be Villamayor de Mojardin, just below the castle. That will be like the halfway point. There's a place there to have another snack, and then there's the food truck, probably like around the 75% of the way. So we got places to stop and snack along the way. Also up there will be like the highest point of the day, not the castle, the town down below. And then from then on, it's gonna be like this undulating all the way down. A super steep and rocky section. I remember last year seeing this couple, this follower that was doing it with a trolley, and they were having a hard time. If we would have followed the alternative, we would be right now somewhere up there, not at the top, halfway through, I would say. I don't think it's worth it. I have done many of the alternative routes on this Camino, and that one, I think they take you up there so that you can see this. This will be the view. And there's a town up there. But like I mentioned before, down here is much, much nicer. You still get an amazing view here. I love the landscape here. It feels like the Grand Canyon sometimes, you know, when you see it out in the distance. And we have, of course, the castle. We have the vineyards now. Now we're going to start walking through some vineyards. And it's great. Let's enjoy this view while it lasts, because the landscape changes every day, and we're gonna leave most of this behind tomorrow as we walk from Los Arcos to Vienna.
is this place?
This is an ancient Roman well, and it still works. I remember being here and seeing a goldfish swimming in there. You know, if that water wasn't too cold, I would probably take a bath in it. Maybe if you're walking by here in the heat of the summer, or if it's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it will make sense. All right, Mohardin. It was nice. We passed by really quickly, went to the church to get our stamp, of course. We were on the lookout for maybe like an omelet, but they didn't have it. Now there's a new hotel. It was under construction last year and it's open now. They have a nice statue out there of Santiago right by the front door. And unfortunately, they put out of business the little shop that's right across the street. That's the stuff that most people will do before. It's gone now. Yeah, the Camino is always changing, always evolving. Okay, now the Camino is gonna open up. We're done climbing. Now we're gonna start the descent. We're gonna go into the open fields, and we have one last stop, a food truck, if the guy is there, where we can grab a bite to eat. I have some stuff in my backpack, some stuff that I bought in Asqueta and also in Estella, so we're good. We're covered. Not literally, but you know what I mean. We were really counting on this water source just so that we could drink all the water that we have in our water bottles and then refill. It's not like we're out of water, not at all. We got it, but we like to stay hydrated. Look at Giancarlo back there. He looks like a Ninja Turtle hiding under that umbrella. He's been getting like small blisters in his hand, not his feet, from walking with a stick. If it was on his feet, I would be freaking out right now. I'm gonna enjoy a little banana here while he takes his little break. You want banana? Oh, you want the Nature Valley? Okay, coming right up, sir. The fan is out because we are out here in the middle of nowhere, and so is the umbrella, of course. Our water supplies just got cut in half. Giancarlo lost his water bottle. Yes, it did. We don't know where it happened, but my guess is he left it at the bar in Asqueta. We're gonna check the footage this afternoon and see where it happened, but it doesn't matter. Now we need to get some water along the way. Now I'm hoping that the food truck is there so we can get a couple of bottles for him, but I'm not counting on it. Camino. Yes, yes, yes. The food truck was there. Boy, was I glad to see it. Oh man, we walked in and this place keeps getting more elaborate by the year. The two girls there were so nice and thoughtful. They gave us everything that we needed. We actually got two omelets. Yes, I loved it. I got a ham and cheese omelet, and Giancarlo had a plain omelet. He also got some ice cream. We got water. We got a soda. We got everything that we needed, including shade. So, we spent about half an hour there. And now it's time to head back out, of course. This section right here is very meseta like. This might be like a sneak peek for you guys of what's to come after Burgos, especially today and tomorrow on our way to Logroño. It's gonna be like this, agricultural fields and very open and exposed to the elements. Maybe just to give you a little taste of what the meseta is like. Right now it's so hot. Yes, it is. All right, let's go. It is 3 o'clock, 3:02 to be precise, and we have made it to Los Arcos. Giancarlo is destroyed. I'm feeling so sorry for my son. Today he felt it. Today he didn't take a bus and his feet are on fire. He's not injured, he's just not used to doing all these walks. He did good today, I had to admit, and tomorrow is going to be a shorter day to Vienna, so let's see how he handles that one. Let's head over to the Albergue and just take that shower. It's so hot right now. Yes, my God. The umbrella, the fan. Thank you so much. Well, here we are at the Albergue. We got ourselves a full bunk bed. As always, I'm taking the bottom one because Giancarlo likes to stay at the top. I don't mind that at all. I've had my share of top beds in my life or here on the Camino. We got gear explosion everywhere. We got ourselves a fan, which is not bad. We already took our showers. Giancarlo, how was it today, buddy?
It was really hard and tough at the end, but
Yeah, I felt that you were struggling after the food truck.
yeah.
Those last, what was it, like 6 kilometers into town? You were huffing and puffy, right?
Yeah.
And it got hot. Of course, it always gets hot around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. We didn't get to see that many people today, but here at the Albergue, the same family that we come to meet and know over the last week was already here. They just went out to the bar to get something to drink. We're gonna wait a little bit. We're just gonna wait for the heat to subside, you might say. And they were just going over the list of places to go, the stages. I was giving them some info, helping them out in choosing the towns and the albergues of where to stay. I highly, highly recommend the albergue in Grañón. That would be the town that's like 6 kilometers past Santo Domingo de la Calzada, which is a few days from now. So if you guys can go to the one in Grañón, to me, that's one of the most special albergues on the entire Camino Francés. It's just nothing fancy. It's a parochial one. But what I really like is the communal dinner and then that ritual that they do at night where they pass the candle around in total darkness and everybody has, a few words to say. Perfect. The only thing is that you do sleep on the ground with some futons, no pillows, but I think it's worth it. It's worth it for the experience. So we're not going there because, of course, they don't take the luggage transfer. It's a parochial albergue. We're going to stay in Santo Domingo, which is not bad anyways. We're sort of like breaking up the stages just to keep them nice and short, keep them around 20 kilometers so that Giancarlo doesn't die on this Camino, right? Right?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Go back to playing it on your tablet, all right? See ya. See you later. All right, guys. The first week on the Camino is now literally behind us. We have done so many things this afternoon since we last saw you in the room. The first thing that I had to do was go to an ATM and take out some cash. Do that every chance you get. You don't want to run out of money out here, even though I have to admit that over the years, the Camino used to be just like a cash economy, but now they're taking credit cards in more places than before. Then we also went to the church, which is right there behind us, to get, what was it?
A stamp.
We got the stamp, that's right. We visited there. It was so cold. It was so nice. It's like having air conditioning. And then we decided to go out with the group to get a bite to eat at a restaurant at 6 o'clock. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, they did not have chicken breast. They only had like chicken thigh. And that's not what Giancarlo eats. So we ended up going to another restaurant. But in the meantime, Giancarlo got to do what?
Play the playground.
Another playground. What was it? That's like 3 today?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then we went to this bar restaurant where we had our lunch, not our lunch, our dinner. I had a steak because I had an omelet for lunch. That's what I was going to say. I had the steak and Giancarlo had the chicken breast with fries. You had water. I had a caña. And then something that took me by surprise, he wanted some dessert. So he had like a chocolate lava cake. I think the hiker's hunger is starting to kick in, but I'm not gonna say anything. We were there talking to all the pilgrims. Of course, he's the center of attention. Every time people see him, they always come to him and they congratulate him for doing this and on and on and on. We know. And then on the way here back to the hostel, we had to pass by Carrefour supermarket just to get water. Since he lost the water bottle, we're gonna have to carry water now in plastic bottles. All right, that's it. Did we cover everything?
Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow we're waking up extra early. Today I think we woke up like at 5:45 or something like that. Tomorrow we're gonna try to do like 4:45. I paid for the breakfast at the hostel just to secure something because I know that there's nothing from here to San Sol and then Torres del Rio, which is probably like 2 or 3 hours away. It's gonna be flat. It's gonna be early in the morning, so it should be a nice weather. And then from there to Viana, it's gonna be hills. Yes, it's gonna be one of those. And I don't want to be caught out there, in the heat of the day. I also had to say goodbye to a lot of pilgrims because a lot of pilgrims, of course, they're going from here to Logroño. And then tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, they're going to Najera. So that will be 2 walking stages that we're going to do in 3. So we're saying goodbye to a lot of pilgrims and hello to probably a new crowd of pilgrims that are going to be walking with us along the way. I think I've said more than enough. We'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. See you.